I should have trusted my instincts the moment the thermostat in that house clicked on by itself, because nobody else was there, and I hadn't touched a thing. The place was supposed to be a high-end smart home, but when the vents began blowing warm air that smelled faintly like dirt and metal, something inside me tightened. I'd only been house-sitting for 2 hours, and already the system was doing things that weren't in the manual. Sent by Marcos J., Reno, Nevada. The owners were out of the country, leaving me alone in their ultra-modern suburban home tucked at the end of a quiet cul-de-sac. I wasn't usually the house-sitting type, but Andrew, my co-worker, swore it paid well and required nothing more than making sure the pipes didn't freeze and the security system stayed armed. He didn't mention anything about the house having a mind of its own. The thermostat triggered again, a sharp click followed by another blast of warm air. The digital display on the wall flickered between numbers like it couldn't decide what temperature it wanted. I took a closer look. The numbers stabilized at 54 degrees, then rapidly climbed to 74 degrees, then 87 degrees, then switched to a message I had never seen on any thermostat in my life. Someone is awake downstairs. I stood in the hallway, every muscle in my body stiff. Downstairs was dark. I had turned off every light. I remembered turning them off. My heartbeat thumped against the inside of my throat. I backed away slowly, then grabbed my phone to check the home app the owner had installed for me. It kept loading, then reloading. Then the screen glitched, and the temperature icon distorted, stretching unnaturally across the display before collapsing into static. This wasn't a malfunction. I had seen glitches. This felt directed, intentional. Another click. The vents hissed again. But this time, the air that came out was cold. So cold it made my breath fog in front of my face. The house was playing with me. I stepped into the master bedroom to grab my jacket, but froze when I saw something new on the wall-mounted screen. The security feed, previously looping through the driveway, kitchen, back deck, and den, now displayed a fifth camera. Camera 5, basement room. Except the owner specifically told me the house had no basement. The feed showed a dim concrete room. A single metal chair sat in the center, and someone, a man, stood behind it, facing the far wall. I leaned closer. The figure didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't sway. His arms hung at perfect vertical angles, too straight to be normal. A line of text appeared at the bottom of the screen. Rule: do not turn off the lights when he faces the wall. My pulse spiked so violently I had to steady myself against the dresser. A house shouldn't have rules. Not like that. I backed away, swallowing the rising panic. But the light in the room flickered. One sharp blink, like a warning. When it blinked again, the figure in the basement camera had turned slightly. Not fully, just a few degrees, as if he felt the flicker. Then the house lights steadied. The temperature display reset itself to 70 degrees. Everything returned to normal. Except nothing was normal. I needed to get out. I grabbed my coat and my keys and headed for the stairs. But when I reached the living room, the smart home system spoke through the ceiling speakers for the first time. A deep, distorted voice, not human, not synthetic, said, "Restriction. Do not leave the house while he is listening." I froze on the last step. Listening, the temperature dropped again, and with it came the house's signature sound, a slow rhythmic creaking, like weight shifting on old wooden stairs. Except the stairs in this house were brand new. They couldn't creak. The sound repeated, creak, creak. The lights dimmed in a soft wave from the kitchen to the living room, as though someone was walking through the house without touching a single switch. The vents turned off. The house grew so quiet that the air felt thick, like static-charged fog settling around me. That creaking came again, but this time it came from behind me. I didn't turn around. I didn't breathe. The house held its breath with me. Then the thermostat beeped once. Escalation initiated. Every light in the house began switching off, one by one, as if a giant invisible hand was passing through the rooms. The creaking sound grew louder, closer, like something moving without bones, using the walls to drag itself forward. My throat tightened. This wasn't smart technology malfunctioning. This place wasn't automated. It was alive, and it wanted me to play by its rules. I backed toward the kitchen, gripping my phone, but the screen died again. All around me, the house seemed to inhale, vents sucking in instead of blowing out, making a deep hollow tone that vibrated through the walls. Then the voice whispered again. "He is behind you. Do not face him." Something brushed the back of my shirt. I stumbled forward, nearly falling. The lights flickered violently. Every appliance beeped. The refrigerator clicked open. The oven door slammed shut. The TV blared static for a split second before cutting off. The whole house behaved like a living nervous system firing uncontrollably. I needed help. I needed anyone.
If you're enjoying these true horror stories, make sure to subscribe to Ultra Spooky and hit that notification bell so you never miss when we upload new nightmares.
The words came through the smart speaker, in my voice. Not the narrator's voice, my own. The thing behind me creaked closer. I made a decision, a stupid one, a desperate one. I ran. I sprinted for the front door and grabbed the handle. It shocked me, hard enough to feel like a bee sting, and the lock engaged by itself. I hammered on it uselessly. Behind me, the house lights dimmed completely until only faint shapes remained. A whisper slid across the room like a breath passing over a microphone. Turn around. But the rule was clear. I didn't. Let me out, I whispered. Please, just let me out. The thermostat beeped again. Consequence triggered. The vents roared, blasting freezing air. The hallway lights flicked to life. The ceiling speakers let out a low hum. Then the smart blinds detached themselves from the windows, slamming onto the floor and creating sharp shadows that stretched unnaturally across the room. One of those shadows wasn't mine. The tall, stiff-limbed figure from the basement camera stood behind me, not touching me, but towering over my shoulder. I felt the imprint of him, the cold radiating through the room, the weight of something that shouldn't exist leaning forward. He exhaled. But the air that hit my neck wasn't warm. It was empty, like wind from a hollow place. He leaned closer. I could hear the bones in his neck creak as he bent toward my ear. The lights surged bright white. The house went silent. And then a hand brushed my shoulder. The rules broke. The restriction shattered. The figure grabbed me, not with flesh, but with pressure, like invisible clamps forcing me to face him. My neck jerked, my vision blurring, my knees buckling as he twisted me. I screamed. The house lights exploded in a burst of total darkness. When I woke, I was lying in the foyer. The door was unlocked. The house was quiet. Every system was offline. I ran without looking back, drove home shaking, and swore I'd never step foot in that place again. But here's the part that keeps me up. Every night since then, my own apartment thermostat clicks at exactly 3:12 a.m., the same click that started all of this. And sometimes, I hear that creaking sound in the hallway, the one that doesn't belong in any building this new, the one that moves closer every night. This was just one of many terrifying true stories from the Ultra Spooky archives. Stay tuned for our next tale of horror.